Hello friends! Today we are going to attempt the run and bun hardcore Nuzlocke Elite 4. Whew, I'm feeling kind of nervous, but here we go. So the first 20 to 30 minutes, maybe less, like 15 to 20 minutes in this video is just going to be Elite 4 preparations, so if you don't have time for that, feel free to skip ahead. But I think the first thing I'll do in this video is just a very quick box recap. I'm going to reveal my team afterwards, and then we need to do some preparations. So we need to teach our Mons a few moves, and we also need to use a few heart scales to change our Elite 4 team's stats. So yeah, first a quick box check. So I'm first going to review the Mons that I am not bringing to the Elite 4. I will raise my hand up and say my box is pretty stacked, but unfortunately these Mons just didn't make the cut to the final Elite 4 team. Yeah, so in this box I think the main 6 Mons that I considered leading up to the Elite 4 were the 6 that you see right here. So we have Latios, which is our roamer. We were very fortunate to get Latios. It was actually the first roamer that we encountered out of, I would say, I think 7 possible routes. So yeah, very happy to have Latios, but unfortunately we couldn't find a line to make it work. Initially I was considering a line where I would bring Latios and Drake doubles, and then I would just kill Drake's entire team while having it follow me on next to Latios to redirect Dragapult's. But unfortunately, as I'll explain later, it didn't quite make the cut. Here we also have Infernape. Infernape was my starter. The interesting thing about this ape is that it is modest, and as you can see, it has really good IV. However, unfortunately, modest isn't the best nature for Elite 4, and we couldn't afford to spend 3 heart scales on this ape to change its nature. We also have Enamorus here. Enamorus is generally a pretty good bring, but you'll see later that I have a better fairy type for the Elite 4. We also have Chestnut, which would have been an interesting option. You can see Chestnut's level here. I intentionally underleveled Chestnut throughout the entire game. This is because it gets access to Spiky Shield, which is one of the best moves in the entire game. It's really good in double battles because you could use Chestnut or just any other Mon with Protect / Spiky Shield to bait any attacks in a double battle so that your partner is safe and your partner could get off attacks while Chestnut keeps itself safe. Chestnut almost made it to the E4 line, however, I found a line that is more consistent. I couldn't manage to find a line with Chestnut that is relatively risk-free. So yeah, Chestnut is not coming, unfortunately. We also have Hydreigon. Hydreigon is a very good Mon for Elite 4, but you'll see that we actually have a better Dark type. And yeah, the last option I kind of considered out of this box was Obstagoon. Obstagoon is not that great on its own, however, it gets 2 really good tools. First of all, it gets Guts, and anyone who has watched Nuzlocke will know that Guts is pretty broken. A little less so in this game compared to other games like Emerald Kaizo, but still a very good ability. And the other thing that Obstagoon gets is Detect, which, as I explained earlier, is very good in double battles, but you'll see later that we have a better Dark type for the E4. Other notable Mons, so throughout, approaching the end of the game, I actually got 3 encounters, but these 3 encounters were not necessary at all. I was just curious to see what I would have rolled if I did need these 3 encounters. So yeah, technically I just caught them for fun, but even before catching them, I realized that I have a pretty good line for Elite 4, and I wouldn't need these 3 encounters. So these 3 are starting with, on the left, we have Celebi, which was our game corner encounter. We had very fortunate encounter luck throughout the entire run, so we didn't need to use our game corner encounter until the very end. Celebi could be used in E4, so DRX6, this Nuzlocker, did use Celebi in his Elite 4 run. Most notably, Celebi actually gets Baton Pass, which in this game is a pretty interesting tool. So what you could do is, in this game, you actually get access to 1 Lychee Berry, which boosts your attack in a pinch. And there's also, I think, Papaya Berry, which is the special attack equivalent. And the idea is your mons typically don't get access to boosting moves like Sword Stance or Nasty Plot. However, with Celebi, you could bait the AI into damaging you into your berry range, and then baton pass those attacks to your other mons to let them sweep. So this was a line I did consider for E4, but however in the end it was not necessary, and I just found that Celebi was a bit too passive in other aspects of the E4 aside from just baton passing. So Celebi is not coming. Alakazam was my Victory Road encounter. It is very nice, very interesting, and this Alakazam actually has great stats, so it came with 31 special attack IVs. However, and also, not to mention, Alakazam is really good in Sidney singles. Sorry, by the way, for those of you who don't know, in this Elite Four, you have to choose 2 single battles and 2 double battles, and you get to decide yourself where you want to do your singles and where you want to do your doubles. So Alakazam basically sweeps the entire Sidney singles on its own, so it's really good. The strat behind that is you use Mega Alakazam, which gets the ability Trace. You trace Sidney's Greninja's Protein, allowing you to change your type, and then you just keep rotating between Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, and Thunder and Shockwave to keep changing your type, and then the AI gets really confused because when it counts its damage against you, it doesn't take into account that you can change your type using your moves. So yeah, Alakazam would have been great for Sidney's, but unfortunately, I just don't think it is valuable enough in the other fights to bring, so it becomes kind of a dead slot. So that's why I'm not bringing Alakazam. And then the last one is Gallade. So Gallade gets access to Protect if you skill it as well, so it is a pretty good Elite Four bring. However, like I said, I found a line which I like better. So yeah, Glade's not coming, and then yeah, this is my remaining box. So this, aside from the Death box, which I'm not going to show, or I'm going to show later after the E4. But yeah, this is my Mega box. So this is the box full of my potential Mega evolutions. Except for Salamence. Salamence couldn't Mega Evolve in this game, I believe. However, I didn't have enough space for Salamence in my other boxes. So yeah, this is my Mega Evolution box. Beedrill would have been a nice bring for Elite Four, but yeah, this Beedrill I actually got late game and it doesn't even have U-turn, so it is not as strong as other Beedrills, and it didn't quite fit with the rest of my Elite Four line, so Beedrill is not coming. There was an interesting angle for Glacia doubles where I brought Camerupt. However, this Camerupt is not quite slow enough to Eruption kill Glacia's entire team, so I couldn't find a very good line for it. And again, Camerupt's kind of a dead slot for other Elite Four fights, so couldn't manage to figure out a good line for it. And then last but not least, we have Mega Audino, which I genuinely considered for the Elite Four. So for context, for those of you who haven't played this game, Audino is a really, really bad encounter. I've only brought it to, I think, 1 or 2 fights where I used it as fodder, but this thing just refused to die. I think it dodged 4 crits in a row in one of the fights where I didn't have another safe line, so I just threw Audino at the opponent and it just didn't die. Audino almost came to my E4 team. So the idea, why Audino, you might ask? Well, the idea behind Audino is that when it Mega Evolves into Mega Audino, it turns into a Fairy type, and it also gets access to Follow Me. So one interesting strat would have been to follow me all dragon types away during Drake's fight, and then just let Lottie clean up Drake's entire team. Usually Clefairy does this, Clefable does this job, so you might have seen other Nuzlockers bring Clefable and Lottie to Drake doubles and pull this off. However, Mega Audino is just a worse version of Clefable, to be honest, because it doesn't get access to Encore. So yeah, Audino didn't quite make it to my E4 team. I really wanted to bring it because I figured out some really interesting lines where I brought it to Phoebe, Glacia, and Drake. It could tank a hit by Phoebe's Lunana. However, I don't have Urshifu Dark, so I couldn't really kill Lunana in return. And then also for Glacia doubles, I would have brought it with Mega Camerupt. However, as I explained earlier, this Camerupt was not quite slow enough to function well in Trick Room. I don't underspeed Glacia's entire team. So yeah, again, the speed tiers are a little bit awkward, and I couldn't figure out a good line. So yeah, now onto my E4 team. So other YouTubers or Nuzlockers or people who have recorded their run and bun runs have reviewed their teams one by one, but unfortunately I am a bit lazy, so I just put them all in my party. So this is the team. It's a little bit boring, but trust me, some of the lines or some of the strats I'm using in the Z4 are kind of interesting. So stay tuned for that. The team. So, we have Weavile, Urshifu, Water, Goodra, Primarina, Glacia, and Dragapult. I was very lucky to get Weavile. Weavile was my Route 123 encounter, which you only gain access to after you get Waterfall. And yeah, Weavile is pretty goated. You'll see later. I will save my explanations for later in terms of what each of these members do. But for now, we actually have some work to do. So, first things first, we need to use some heart scales to remember some moves and change some stats of our mons. So the first thing we need to do is we need to teach Fake Out to Weavile. I usually play this game on fast forward because I don't have a lot of time, but I guess as I'm talking here, I can't go that fast anyway. So yeah, I'll just go try to go regular speed and explain this. Okay, so Weavile here. First of all, we're gonna teach Fake Out. Triple Axle is a great move. In VGC, I use Triple Axle with wide lens quite a bit. However, in a Nuzlocke, we unfortunately couldn't risk the 90% accuracy. So we're not going to use Triple Axle in this Elite Four. We're going to teach Fake Out to Weavile instead. Fake Out, very good tool for E4. Or just for double battles especially. Cool, so that's the first thing. Next, we need to change Weavile's nature to Adamant nature. This Weavile already has 27 attack IVs to begin with, so that's pretty good. However, we need the extra power for some calcs later. So Weavile changed to Adamant. Next, we need to change Primarina's nature as well. Sorry, I have Discord open. Let me just quit this. Alright, so Weavile. Yeah, we scaled Nope, we don't want to change Weavile's nature again. Yeah, we need to change the nature of Primarina. So this Primarina came with a quiet nature. However, we need it to be a little bit faster for this specific line in the E4. So we're gonna change it to Timid. Sorry, I'm not very good at doing this. It's the first time I'm recording myself play a Nuzlocke, but I should note that I had 15 heart scales to begin with. And we're actually going to use all of these heart scales for the E4. We need all 15 of them in order to have this line. Yeah, okay. So back to the scaling. We're going to use one more heart scale on Primarina, and this time we're actually going to maximize Primarina's speed. Yeah, going Timid isn't enough. We need the speed for something specifically, which I'll explain later. And the last heart scale we're going to use on Primarina is to teach it the move Perish Song. So Perish Song is a move that I really enjoy using in VGC. We're going to teach it over Surf. Wait, did I select the wrong thing? Oh, okay, I selected Forget. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so we want to select Remember a move, not Forget a move. Okay, good. Yeah, Perish Song is a move that I really enjoy using in VGC, and now we're actually going to use it in this E4, and we're going to click it multiple times. So I'm very excited for that. We're going to teach Perish Song, we're going to teach it over Surf. Normally, Primarinas in Run and Bun run Moonblast. However, we don't actually need Moonblast for the Elite Four. I had Moonblast on my Primarina for the longest time. However, I had to delete it for the Space Tag Double Battle. Because it was my only safe line for Space Tag. And unfortunately, we didn't need to teach Primarina Moonblast for the rest of the run, and we don't need it for the Elite Four either. Instead, we're going to use Perish Song on it. Next is Dragapult. So we need to scale special attack on Dragapult. We had already previously spent quite a few heart scales on this Dragapult, on its attack and other stats. We needed to scale its HP as well for this very hard fight, I think, in Aqua Hideout. But now we're gonna scale special attack, and again, I'll explain what it's for later. The next thing is Glacia's attack. So maximize IVs. Yeah. Sorry, bear with me here. We only have 5 more heart scales to go. Yeah, we're actually going to use 3 heart scales on this Glacia, and this Glacia came with pretty bad IVs. Yeah, it was like a lot of single-digit IVs, as you can see, but we're going to spend 3 heart scales on it to change its stats to 31, to change its IVs to 31. And you'll see that it makes a difference to the calcs later. Maximize IVs. We're gonna do special defense on this Glacia. And three more. I'm staying really focused here because we cannot fuck up these heart scales. If we fuck up these heart scales, we could wipe speed. Yeah, so we're scaling speed on Glacia. You might be thinking that's really weird because Glacia is a slow mon. It's a very, very, very slow mon. However, I'll explain why we need them later. So 2 more IVs and we'll be done with this. So first of all, we're gonna spend an IV on Goodra. Actually, before I do this, let me show you my Goodra. So Goodra is a very, very good mon. It comes with the shell armor ability. So this blocks crits, which is very useful in Nuzlocke. Unfortunately, this Goodra has terrible stats. So yeah, you can see to begin with, the stats are not very good. It's timid nature. It can barely do any damage. 0 speed, timid nature, and 1 special attack, 2 special defense as well. However, this Goodra is still a GOAT, despite having shitty stats. It came to so many of my fights in late game, and now it's coming to my E4. However, we need to scale some stats on it. And don't worry, I'll show you the full team after I'm done with this. Just 2 more heart scales to go. So maximize I. We need to maximize Goodra's attack to begin with. Now, you might be thinking your Goodra is timid. Why are you scaling attack? You'll see why a bit later. And the last one is we need to scale special defense on our Goodra. Wait, I just want to double check something. Shifu. Yep, okay. Yeah, you can see my Urshifu stats are really good to begin with. So Urshifu comes with 3 perfect stats, and I spent another 2 heart scales on Urshifu previously in the run. Last heart scale, I believe, which is Goodra's special defense. Bear with me, guys. If you were paying attention all along, thank you so much for it. We're almost done with this part, and then we'll get to the exciting bit very, very soon. Okay, so let me do a couple of things first. First, we need to level up our Weavile. We haven't touched this Weavile at all since we captured it, so we need to level it up a little bit. Yep, let me just use the endless candy here. For those of you who don't know, you get to level up your mons with rare candies until a specific level cap, and then you get additional individual rare candies which you could use to bypass the level cap. So the level cap for Elite 4 is level 99. However, unfortunately for us, we saved up a lot of rare candies for this specific run. We didn't have to use a lot of them because we had a really good box. So we have enough rare candies to level all of our mons up to level 100 for this run. But before I do that, I need to teach my mons some moves. So in this game, you get access to a few move tutors. I am first going to teach a few move tutor moves to my mons. So first move is we need to teach Urshifu Thunder Punch, and we're going to delete Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet is an excellent move. It's a 40 base power water priority move, and it was extremely useful throughout a lot of the game. But we're not going to need it for the Elite Four. So instead, we're going to teach Thunder Punch. Now, you might be thinking, Thunder Punch is not the strongest move. It's not even stab. What do you need it for? You'll see very soon. And then next, we're going to teach some other pretty wild moves to our mons. We're going to fly to 4 Tree City first. And then let me cycle to the Weather Institute. Yeah, as you can see, I'm pretty bad at my movement in this game. I would never be able to do something like a speed run. And I'm really bad at dodging roamers. What do you call it again? Not roamers, spinners. Trainers who go around in overworld. I'm really bad at dodging that. But yeah, okay, so we're next going to teach Goodra Thunder. Yeah, so Thunder is normally a very accurate move, which as I explained earlier, as I explained earlier, you don't want to risk in the Nuzlocke because it leads to a lot of inconsistencies. However, as you'll soon see later, in one of the fights in the E4, we could use this move. So we're going to teach Goodra Thunder, and we're going to teach Dragapult Fire Blast. Again, an inaccurate move, but you will see why we need it a little bit later. Please bear with me and be patient with me if I'm not very good at explaining these things. I'm trying my best. Yeah, so Fire Blast is what we need, and then one more move tutor move after this. Just one more. I saved the most excited one for last. I need to breathe in a little bit order. Let's fly back to 4 Tree. This time we're heading in a different direction. Okay. So I'm gonna fast forward here. Sorry. Cool. Right. Okay. One more move tutor. I believe they're somewhere over here. I don't remember the exact location of this tutor, so I gotta find it. Wow, I feel tired even before E4 has begun. Okay, yeah. So the last move tutor move we're teaching is actually Natural Gift. So Natural Gift is a very interesting move. I think it was introduced in Gen 4 or Gen 5, something like that. But basically, it's a move which changes its type based on the berry that you equips. And we're going to teach it to Weavile. We're going to replace Ice Shard. Similar to Urshiku's Aqua-Jet, Ice Shard is a very useful move in normal gameplay. However, for this specific line in Elite 4, we don't need Ice Shard, and instead we need the move Natural Gift. Okay, final part of the preparation. We need to pre-damage some of our Mon for very specific lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly to Philauber Town. And we're going to go over here. And the reason why... I'm going to fast forward the part because otherwise it's going to take a long while. But the reason why is because we need to pre-poison our Goodra. And you might be thinking, Goodra is a steel type, how the heck do you pre-poison it? Well, the way is actually, you can find wild Salazzle in this route. And the interesting thing about Salazzle is its ability Corrosion. So Corrosion basically is an ability that makes it so that you can poison steel types or poison types. And this is exactly what we did here. Goodra is now pre-poisoned, so we can damage it to a specific... So we're very lucky to have gotten that in our first try. Usually Salazzle spams a few other moves like Dragon Rage or Venoshock or whatever. If it did that, we needed to switch back and forth until Goodra got poisoned. Thankfully for us, it got poisoned immediately. And okay, the last part of our preparation, we're gonna start E4 in a few minutes. But the last part, so we need to do more pre-damaging. So first of all, we are going to pre-poison Glacia. And then, okay. And then next we're going to pre-damage Dragapult. Pre-poison, sorry. Yeah, pre-poison, same thing actually, that's what we're trying to achieve here. Okay, and then the rest we'll do later. Let me speed this up for now, so I'm gonna run back and forth until my Mons are at a specific HP range. Okay, I need to slow down a little bit here. Sorry about the audio, if it's giving you a headache, this will be over really soon. Okay, so Glacia, now we can heal it with a Petra Berry. It is now in range of a specific attack. And then the other two we need to pre-damage a little bit. Goodra needs to be at 124 HP. Ideally exactly 124. Glacia needed to be at 198, but I think it's okay. Okay, almost there. I got very lucky there. So 6 more ticks. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Oh no, actually, I messed up a little bit. I need to first use some rare candies on my Mons, so they all get to level 100. Okay, good thing I remembered this. Do I need to poison Glacia again? I do. Okay. Okay. Oh, such a mess. Okay, I'll get Goodra to 124 first. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Petra Berry. Goodra. And then we need Glacia to be 2 more HP less. I know this sounds super weird, like why does 2 HP even matter, but it matters for a specific range. If it doesn't hit that specific range, our line gets completely messed up. So each HP matters in this scenario. Okay, 2 more ticks, and Glacia should be at 198 now. We can heal it. Okay, so Glacia, the last one is Dragapult. It needs to go down to ideally 2 HP, but 1 HP is fine as well, but ideally 2. Okay. Sorry if this is giving you a bit of a seizure. Bear with me, we're almost done. Okay, 6 more ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Okay. Perfect. Dragapult is now at 2 HP. We're gonna use the Petra Berry on Dragapult. We don't need the status on it. We just need it to be at a specific HP range. We do, however, need some statuses on other mons. E4 is about to begin in a couple minutes, so I get ready. I'm very excited. So 2 more pre-statuses. I'll explain why they matter a bit later, but Urshifu needs to be pre-poisoned for the fight. We don't need its damage chipped, we just need it to be poisoned. And then Primarina needs to be pre-burned. Okay. And I also need to equip a few items before we go into the E4 and change the positioning of my mons a little bit. But first, let's fly to the Pokemon League. Okay, items now. Oof, this is so stressful, guys, honestly. This is more stressful than work because one single mistake can mess us up a lot. Yeah, so items first. What we want to do is we want to give Weavile the black glasses. We want to give Urshifu the choice scarf. We want to give Goodra the eject pack. We have to do quite a few optional battles just to get access to this, but this item is very important. This line wouldn't work without that item. We want to give Citrus Berry to Primarina. We want to give Rocky Helmets to Glacia, and Dragapult doesn't need an item for this fight, so we're just gonna flex a little bit and not give it an item. Okay, so next we'll slot our mons around. So Urshifu needs to be at slot 1, Goodra needs to be slot 2, the rest doesn't really matter, but I'll just rearrange it for good practice. Yep, okay, should be in the right, they should all be in the right slots now. Okay, final team check now, just to make sure we haven't missed anything. So Urshifu, these are its stats, yep, and these are its moves, all correct. Goodra, Timid Nature, yep. Okay, Weavile, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Natural Gift, Fake Out, these are all correct. Adamant Nature with these stats, notably 27 attack. Primarina, Timid Nature with these stats. Yeah, this Prim doesn't have the best stats either, but it's good enough to make the E4. Perish Song, Draining Kiss, Flip Turn, Encore. I don't want to accidentally click Perish Song, so I'm going to put it on slot 2. Glacia with these stats, correct. First Impression, Leech Life, Sucker Punch, Liquidation. And last but not least, Dragapult with Draco, Meteor, Phantom Force, Dragon Darts, Fire Blast with these beautiful stats. Naive Nature to give it a little extra speed. Okay, cool. Let's do this, boys. E4, here we go, baby. Oof, I'm getting goosebumps hearing the Elite Four Hall music. So, very minor detail, but we want to heal Urshifu up to full before we start this. And yeah, okay. Sidney doubles to begin with. Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I don't want to make a mistake. Also, this line still has some risks. The risk is relatively low, but there are still some risks, so we could easily wipe to this E4. Not easily, but it wouldn't put it past me if we wiped this E4. Sidney. Here we go. Woo! Again, goosebumps from this music. Okay, we want to choose. What's it gonna be? We want to choose doubles. Let's go. Let me explain what's gonna happen here. So Sidney is going to send out Incineroar and Articuno. We are going to send out Urshifu and Goodra. Incineroar is going to intimidate our Mons. Notably, our Goodra is holding an Eject Pack. Eject Pack is an item that makes it so that you switch out when you have your stats lowered. The reason we are doing this is because Weavile has the ability Pressure instead of Inner Focus. Some Weaviles have Inner Focus, which makes it so that you cannot be intimidated. Unfortunately, our Weavile came with Pressure. It was a 50-50. We got the worst ability. That's okay though, because we don't need the Eject Pack for anything else in this game. You only get one of them per game, and we're going to use it on this specific part of the line. We're now going to send out Weavile. This Weavile is not intimidated because Goodra soaked up the Intimidate for them. Urshifu now sees Surging Strikes Oko on the Incineroar. They did intimidate us, however, Surging Strikes is guaranteed to crit. However, we're actually not going to click Surging Strikes. Surging Strikes makes it so that Incineroar has to click Fake Out on the Urshifu. AI has to click it because it knows it dies to our Surging Strikes. On the other hand, Weavile doesn't see any kills on this Incineroar, so it will not Fake Out our Weavile. We are going to abuse this and switch Urshifu out into our Primarina, which has the move Encore, and remember, which now has a decent amount of speed. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to switch Urshifu out into Primarina. And then now, since our Weavile is not intimidated and we're holding the Black Glasses item, we can click Knockoff into Articuno and it is a guaranteed one-hit KO. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to let Articuno get off any attacks. So yep, Incineroar should click Fake Out first. It doesn't matter if it crits, but it didn't. And Knockoff, as I said, one-hit KOs the Articuno. So now is a very interesting part. You might have noticed that we didn't level Weavile up to level 100. And the reason why is because we want to bait Urshifu out next. Now our Weavile, as you can see here, has exactly 253 speed. 253 speeds makes it so that Weavile speed ties with Urshifu. However, in this game, AI recognizes speed ties, or they categorize speed ties as them outspeeding you. So in the AI's mind, they think Urshifu outspeeds Weavile and has a fast kill with close combat onto our Weavile. This is exactly why we didn't level Weavile up past level 93. If we did, we would have outsped this Urshifu and it wouldn't have seen a fast kill on Weavile. The beautiful part about this line is Weavile needed to be level 93 in order to see the one-hit KO on the Articuno. So level 93 is the perfect level for Weavile in this specific instance. And our IVs made it so that our Weavile at this level specifically kills Articuno and so-called underspeeds the opposing Urshifu. Again, if we didn't underspeed it, Sidney would have sent out his Darkrai instead, which would have seen a fast kill into our Weavile. However, Urshifu is more ahead in the pecking order compared to Weavile, I'm messing this up, compared to Darkrai, so that's why Sidney sent it out first. I hope you all understood that. Yeah, so now Urshifu doesn't see any kills on Primarina. It only has Close Combat and Wicked Blow and Reversal, but it's not going to use it because it's at such low HP. Primarina is going to Encore the Incineroar into Fake Out. This is exactly why we made Primarina Timid max speed. We needed to outspeed this Incineroar so we could get off an Encore first before it could get out of any attack. So now this Incineroar is going to be locked in using Fake Out for the next few turns. And what we're going to do is, this is guaranteed Close Combat from the Urshifu because it sees Fast Kill. We are going to go into Rocky Helmet Glacia so that we can break this Urshifu's Focus Sash. So yep, Close Combat comes into Glacia, and this is exactly why we pre-damaged the Glacia. We pre-damaged it so that no matter what roll Urshifu gets, Glacia gets put into emergency exit range, and we get to exit right out of there into another Mon. Which Mon are we going to go into? We're actually going into Weavile. Weavile again. Now you might think Weavile doesn't see any kills. Why are you going into it again? You'll see in this turn. Right after this turn is over. So yeah, we encore, and now Incineroar goes for another fake out. Cool. And we didn't claim the kill on Urshifu just now, but because we needed to encore the Incineroar, but we are going to claim the kill on Urshifu this turn. And again, this may look very scary, but it is actually guaranteed close combat onto the Weavile slot. So we're going to switch in our 2 HP Dragapult. So let's see what happens here. So yep, Incineroar goes for fake out again, fails. Urshifu goes uses close combat into Dragapult, and that is obviously immune. So yeah, we Draining Kiss back to full HP. And Urshifu goes down. Now, crucially speaking here, Dragapult is now in slot 2. We pre-damaged it to 2 HP, so that Sidney will always send out Overquill. And thanks to special AI, this turn, Sidney's Overquill will always click Fell Stinger into our Dragapult. Fell Stinger is a move that will boost its attack by 3 stages if it successfully picks up at 1-hit KO. So yeah, Dragapult is at 2 HP, always dies to Fell Stinger. Overquill is always clicking Fell Stinger. And then we're going to switch Dragapult out. So let me make sure I did this correctly. So we're going to encore the Overquill into Fell Stinger now. And here we want to switch Dragapult into Urshifu. Now, it doesn't really matter which, so this slot Urshifu is going to get Fell Stinger is going to do negligible damage, and Incineroar is still stuck in here clicking Fake Out. So, Fell Stinger crits, it shouldn't matter. I don't think it matters. If it crits every single Fell Stinger, then it might matter, but even then I think we're okay. Urshifu takes Poison Tick. Okay. And now we have Overquill that is stuck in using Fell Stinger. And we have the Incineroar who is stuck in using Fake Out. What we want to do this turn is we actually want to click Perish Song for the first time. And Perish Song will slowly kill the Overquill. We're going to see it slowly kill over the next 3 turns as it is stuck in using Fell Stinger. And Urshifu here wants to claim the kill on Incineroar using Close Combat. So, next, you will see that Sidney will send in Darkrai. And the reason why we pre-burned Primarina is so that it takes enough damage, or where it is always in range of Sludge Bomb, which is a fast kill by the Darkrai. So Darkrai is in slot 1 and sees a fast kill onto our Primarina in our slot 1. However, what it doesn't see is our Urshifu is holding a Choice Scarf on slot 2 and picks up a 1-hit KO on Darkrai. So yeah, the Perish counter counts. We need to keep track of this eventually. Primarina, it doesn't really matter what we do this turn. I think we want to gain some HP back, so we're going to Draining Kiss the Overquill. And we are going to pick up the KO on Darkrai with Close Combat, as mentioned. So yeah, breather. So yep, Overquill is still using Fell Stinger. No crit this time, which is good. And now we Draining Kiss into Overquill to get some HP back. Technically other moves could have worked too, but we could use the extra HP for the later part of this fight. So Sidney is down to his last mon, which is Gyarados. Oh, one part of the fight that I didn't explain. So just now Sidney sent in Darkrai. Darkrai sees a fast kill on Primarina with Sludgemon. The reason why we taught Urshifu Thunder Punch, though it doesn't really matter, is to prevent AI from sending in Gyarados. We don't want Sidney to send in Gyarados first at any circumstance. Technically, he should still send in Darkrai first, so it doesn't really matter. But we just taught it as a fail-safe. You'll see later that it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I just like to be safe. We didn't need Aqua Jet anyway. In fact, we need the 4th move slot for something else. we're actually not going to click Thunder Punch here. So what's happening in this turn is Sidney's Gyarados is going to Mega Evolve into Mega Gyarados. So it's not going to be 4 times weak to Thunder Punch anyway. And besides that, we're locked in close combat, and Thunder Punch is weak anyway. It's not stat. What's going to happen here is, I believe, I wasn't paying attention, but I believe Overquill's Encore has ended. So this turn, it is guaranteed to click Gunk Shot onto Primarina. This is because it is faster than Primarina and sees a fast kill. So rather than going after Urshifu, it always goes after the Primarina. And similarly, Gyarados always Power Whips into the Primarina. What we're going to do here is we are going to switch into Goodra, which is immune to the Gunk Shot and resist the Power Whip. So Primarina, hard switch that into Goodra. And then we want to switch our Urshifu into Weavile. Our Urshifu is never being targeted here. So let's see what happens. So, crucially speaking, Power Whip here could actually crit Goodra. Goodra has the ability Shell Armor, which prevents the opponent from critting you. However, as you can see right here, Mega Gyarados has the ability Mode Breaker, which it completely ignores Goodra's ability. As I mentioned, Gunk Shot into Goodra, Power Whip hits, I believe that was not a crit. So that was not a crit. This is where some fiction could happen in the fight. This part of the fight is not completely riskless. So now what is happening here is, Goodra always baits Crunch from Overquill and Lash Out from Gyarados. Weavile can fake out one of these mons. Weavile should never be targeted because it is faster than both of these mons, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, Weavile is faster than both of these mons and it is therefore never targeted. Goodra is slower than both of these mons and is therefore always targeted. We have the option to fake out one of these mons. I am leaning towards faking out Mega Gyarados to put it in guaranteed range of Urshifu's close combat. The thing is, the part I'm afraid about is if Overquill gets a Crunch defense drop into Primarina, things get a little risky later because we might not be able to bait specific attacks from the Gyarados, which we want to do. So, let's see. Primarina is now at 234 HP. Minimum roll of Crunch does 71, which puts it into 163 HP. That is not Citrus range. If it takes a burn tick as well, that is a bit tricky. Yeah, the issue with that is... if that happens... Actually, no, that's not problematic. So even if Crunch... Oh, no. Okay, so I see. The issue with that is if Crunch gets a defense drop, and does not put us into Citrus Berry range, then there is a chance Gyarados could go for Waterfall on Lash Out into our Primarina. And we really, really don't want that, because if it does that, it is very annoying for our line. We would be risking Goodra, and if Goodra dies, then we wipe. We can't survive the rest of the Elite Four. We need Goodra for a specific line. So it is probably more optimal for me to go into Primarina in this stage and fake out the Overquill. At this range, Gyarados should always go for Lash Out onto Goodra. Goodra is not in Waterfall range. Lash Out does 31.8% minimum to Primarina, which I think should always put it into Citrus range after the burn chip. 145 HP minus the burn chip. Sorry guys, I have to make some calculations just to be extra safe. 145 minus 17, 128. Yes, so Lash Out would always put Primarina into Citrus range and let it heal back up. There is still some fiction that could happen in this fight. So I'll explain them as we go. But for now, I think the correct move is to switch Gudra to Primarina, fake out into Overquill. Let's see what happens. We really don't want to see Lash Out crit here. It would really not be ideal. So, should be Lash Out. Please don't crit. Please don't crit. It is not the end of the world. Okay, perfect. No crit. It wouldn't be the end of the world if it crit, but this position is much more comfortable for us. So, Overquill's Perish counts to 0, and it fades this turn. Oh, I messed up the ordering of the turn, actually. Or maybe I didn't. Okay, so Overquill perishes this turn. Now it is always guaranteed Power Whip into Primarina, much like the turn earlier. What we want to do is we want to go into Gudra on the Primarina slot. Gudra should never die to Power Whip crit. Yep. And Weavile is really not doing that much to Gyarados, so we want to switch into Urshifu here. So some fiction can still happen. We are not out of the woods here. Let's see what happens this turn. Let's see. So the Power Whip hit. We would have liked it to miss, but I guess it's not the end of the world. I think we might be safe here. Let's see. So now Gudra is actually in range of Waterfall and Lash Out. What we want to do is we want to switch Gudra out into Primarina. Now, Primarina is in range of some Lash Out crits, I believe. It is not in range of any Waterfall crits. It would be in range of... Actually, it is not in range of any Lash Out crits, so I think we should be safe no matter what. What we're doing here is we are going to switch Gudra out into Primarina to soak up a hit. However, this might not matter at all. Urshifu has a 93.8% chance to Oko Gyarados with close combat. If Gyarados survives, it could get off a hit into Primarina. However, I just ran the calcs, and Primarina should survive even after Burn Chip no matter what, thanks to that Citrus Berry. So this is why it is good that Gyarados didn't crit on our Primarina just now, because if it did crit, then Primarina might be dead to another crit right now. However, in 93.8% of scenarios, Gyarados just dies here. So we're gonna go for that immediately. Let's see what happens. Please just pick up the kill. I think it doesn't matter, no matter what, but it would be nice for my heart, for my soul, if Urshifu just picks up this kill. Good. Good boy, Urshifu. Whew. Okay. That is Sidney done, baby. 1 out of 5. Okay. Yeah, that was quite fun, but very stressful. You've got what it takes to go far? Let's hope so, Sidney. Let's hope so. So, on we go to the next room. We need to make some preparations for the next fight. Yep, Urshifu will stay poisoned. I need to be careful not to rush this. Okay, so, order of operations. First things first, let me heal my PP. Nope, I don't want to give a leopard berry, I want to use one. So I believe we use close combat here. What other attacks did we click? We clicked knockoff, so might as well heal it. We clicked encore. We clicked draining kiss. We have more than enough leopard berries, and I know this seems kind of pointless, but just for good measure, we're doing this. I don't think we clicked any other moves throughout that fight, so should be good. Okay. Second thing we want to do. We want to teach Urshifu the move Aerial Ace. Now, Aerial Ace is a pretty weak flying move. It's only 60 base power, and Urshifu doesn't get stabbed with it. However, we need it for one specific mon on the Phoebe team. So, Thunder Punch, we don't need you anymore. Thank you for scaring the Gyarados so it doesn't come out early. Aerial Ace, here we go. And now we don't need Weavile to be at level 93 anymore. We're gonna level up all the way up to level 100. So Endless Candy it to 99, and then we have 3 more rare candies. We're gonna use it on Weavile. Now, what else? Weavile now needs to be holding the Dark Gem. We only get 1 of these in the entire game. I think I read somewhere that there's a way to steal more Dark Gems, but we don't have the right tools to steal this item. So we're going to use the 1 Dark Gem that is available to us in this specific fight. Urshifu needs to be at a very specific HP number. Very, very specific. I believe we can't even miss it by 1. So I need to be very careful here. Let's see how many HP our Urshifu is at right now. It is at 80 HP. Okay, that is actually good for us. We're gonna run once more. Good. So that we pre-poison it a little bit more. It needs to be at 279 HP. So we're first going to use 1 Hyper Potion on it. This should heal about 120 points. We're next going to use a Super Potion on it. Again, we need to be super careful with the healing. Cool. And then we're going to use a potion on it. 279, right? 279. Nice. Okay, so this is perfect. Now we get our Urshifu at the HP that it needs to be in. Dragapult needs to be healed again. We're going to give Dragapult 2 Hyper Potions. Is that correct? Yep, it needs to be at 242 HP. Yep, and we actually don't need the HP range for this specific fight, but it's very crucial for a later fight. And there is actually a chance that Dragapult doesn't get damage at all between this fight and the later fight that we need it for. So that's why we're not going to heal it to full. We don't need it to be at full anyway. Dragapult is going to attack in this game, and it is going to be holding the Dragon Gem. So we have the Dark Gem and the Dragon Gem in this fight. Oh, sorry, one thing, good thing I remembered, we need Urshifu to be itemless here. It may seem a bit weird, but I'll explain why a little bit later. Next, we want to heal the Glacia. So we want Glacia to be at full HP. We're going to use a max potion for this. Yep. Primarina, we also don't want it to be at full HP. Neither do we want Gudra to be at full HP. So I guess I'll do Primarina first. We want it to be at around 218 HP. 210 I think is not ideal, but good enough. And we want to heal the Primarina burn. Yep. Rossberry. Again, we need Primarina to be under 218. We can't get it any closer to 218. Maybe I could have used a citrus berry there. I'm not entirely sure, but it's fine. I think it should be fine. Primarina doesn't need to be burned anymore. We only needed to burn for the previous fight, if you remember, where we needed Primarina to be in Darkrai's Sludge Bomb range. Gudra needs to be at 263 HP, more or less. Okay, that's really awkward. We're at 54 HP. I might have to run some calcs. I guess 254 will be fine, but let me just double check. Oh man, Gudra! Why didn't you just take 1 damage more? Actually, how much does Citrus heal? Let me calculate. Heals 73 HP. So we can get closer to it with some citrus berries. How about Papa Berry? Papa heals 98. Is that perfect for us? That might be perfect for us. Papa heals 98. It's 98. Yeah, actually, Papa is pretty good. We'll use the Papa Berry. Please tell me it works this way. I'm not entirely sure, but... Oh no, I can't use a Papa. Alright, well, it's okay, it's okay. I think we could use a few citrus berries. Let's try this. Yeah, either way, I think it was better than just now. Oh shit, my bad. Sorry. KD 63. One more citrus should be okay, right? Yeah, I should heal 73 more. Which gets us to 200 HP. 200 is fine. We could get it to 260 HP, which is with a super potion, which is nice. Yep, okay. So now we use one more super potion on the Goodra. Sorry this is taking a while. We had some suboptimal HP ranges, but I think we'll make do with the situation. So now let's do the slots. Weavile needs to be in slot 1. And Urshifu needs to be in slot 2. The rest doesn't matter, but for good practice so that I get my lines right, we'll just do them anyway. Dragapult here. Goodra here. Yep. I think Glacia might be holding the wrong item. Actually, it doesn't really matter what item Glacia holds. We're gonna give it a citrus berry, I think, just for good measure. Yep. But the other items would matter a lot more. So I think we did Weavile and Dragapult already with the gems. And we're... the remaining two, Goodra and Primarina, are going to be holding the Shed Shell. Shed Shell, that. What was I saying? Shed Shell. Yep, and we need the Shed Shells for a very specific purpose later. One last check, we'll drink some water, and then we'll do this. Item check. None, check again, Shed Shell. Should be correct. Alright. Let's do this. Yep, so Phoebe is gonna offer to heal us up in this fight, but we're not gonna heal up, baby. We're gonna keep our bonds pre-damage, and the reason why is because we are doing Phoebe doubles. Let's go. Alright. Phoebe is first going to send out Decidueye, Hisuian Decidueye, and a Chandelure. We are going to send out Weavile and Urshifu. In the first turn, Decidueye, I believe, is holding a Focus Sash. Yes, Decidueye is holding a Focus Sash. So what we're going to do is we're first going to break that Sash with Fake Out, ensure that it doesn't do anything to our Urshifu. We forgot to Leopard Berry to Fake Out, but that's fine. So yeah, we're going to click Fake Out into Decidueye, and we're going to Surging Strikes into the Chandelure. This should always be a KO. Yep, Shooting Strikes, let's go. I forgot to give my mons nicknames. I was going to give them nicknames for this E4 run, but it's okay, just a minor detail. So yep, Chandelure now goes down. And Decidueye flinches. So that's a good start to the fight. Phoebe is going to send out Lunala. Lunala sees a fast kill into our Urshifu, so that's why Phoebe always sends it out. However, interestingly, Lunala, even though it has Shadow Shield, which halves all damage when it's at full, halves all damage when it is at full HP, Dark Gem Knockoff still OHKOs this Lunala. So we're gonna Dark Gem Knockoff into outspeed Lunala, Dark Gem Knockoff into it, and we are going to Aerial Ace into the Decidueye to pick up a double KO. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Dark Gem Knockoff, one Dark Gem in a single game. Goodbye, Lunala. Goodbye. Whew. Alright, this Lunala is very threatening. Very few things KO it, but luckily we have a goated Weavile. This is also why we scaled Adamant on this Weavile to ensure that we'll pick up this KO. Even a 31 attack Weavile, Ivy Weavile, would not have picked up this KO on Lunala. We needed the Adamant nature on the Weavile. And this is also why we taught Aerial Ace onto Urshifu. We needed to pick up this KO onto Decidueye. So now this baits in Weavile, which sees a Focus Blast kill into our Weavile. It sees a fast kill. It is actually faster than our Weavile. And crucially, at this range, Gengar never sees a fast kill onto Urshifu. Interestingly, if this Gengar was Mega Evolved, it would have seen an Oko onto Urshifu, and therefore meant that it could target Urshifu. So it will be a 50-50 between Weavile and Urshifu. Luckily, this Gengar is still in base form. I think Shadow Ball does maximum 59% to Urshifu when it's on regular form. We are exactly at 60% right now, 60% HP. Why are we at 60% HP? This is because Giratina always sees Dragon Pulse KO Oko at this HP range into Urshifu, which means this turn Giratina is always going to go for Dragon Pulse into the Urshifu, and Gengar is always going to go for Focus Blast onto the Weavile. So we are going to take advantage of this knowledge. By the way, Urshifu is itemless because if it weren't itemless, then Urshifu is actually in the range of Poltergeist as well. However, because we are not holding an item, Phoebe will never click Poltergeist into our Urshifu. We do not want her to click Poltergeist. We want her to always click Dragon Pulse. So what we're going to do this turn is we're going to switch Weavile into Dragon Pulse, and we're going to switch Urshifu into Goodra. So Dragon Pulse is going to take no damage from this Focus Blast, and Goodra is going to take the Dragon Pulse damage guaranteed. This cannot crit because we have Shell Armor. So yeah, Gengar Mega Evolves, very scary. Mega Gengar, very scary. It's very fast, and not a lot of things could pick up a KO on Mega Gengar. However, we're going to have to make do with that situation. So, Giratina goes to Dragon Pulse into Goodra. Now, Goodra is now at 164 HP. Why is this HP range important? Well, for two reasons. First of all, it is always in range of Mega Gengar's Focus Blast. So this turn, we know that Mega Gengar is going to click Focus Blast. Secondly, it is also always in range of Giratina's Poltergeist. This is why we damage Goodra into that exact HP range. And by the way, Dragon Pulse actually low rolled. So it is good that we didn't heal Goodra up beyond that HP range, because we would have been really messed up here. And the reason why we would have been messed up is because Giratina could have clicked Shadow Sneak into Dragapult if it didn't see the kill into Goodra. Now, Shadow Sneak doesn't OHKO the Dragapult, however, crit does get us from this HP range. So right now, it is never going to click Shadow Sneak into Dragapult because it doesn't see any kill on Dragapult. On the contrary, it sees a guaranteed kill into Goodra, so it's always going to click Poltergeist. So we have prevented it from clicking Shadow Sneak. And what we're going to do with Dragapult this turn is we are holding a Dragon Gem. We have scaled 31 special attack IVs just for this specific Hulk. We are going to Draco Meteor into Giratina. And now again, Mega Gengar, we're leaving it alone this turn. However, we know for a fact that it's always going to click Focus Blast into Goodra. It is slower than the Dragapult and will therefore never target it. Instead, it will always target Goodra. The reason why we are holding Shed Shell is because Mega Gengar has the ability Shadow Tag, which prevents you from switching, which prevents the opponent from switching. However, with Shed Shell, we completely ignore this ability, and we can switch Goodra out into Primarina. So that's what we're going to do right here. A Dragapult Draco Meteor always OHKOs the Giratina. So let's see here. Let's see the Giratina's fate. Dragon Gem boosted. Let's go. So I could have equipped choice specs, however in this game you only get access to 2 scanner items, and we needed the Scarf and choice band for other fights. So we needed to invest the Dragon Gem in this specific Hulk. So Gengar misses Focus Blast onto Primarina. That doesn't matter, because this turn, Gengar always sees fast kill onto Primarina with Sludge Wave. So it's always going to go for Sludge Wave. What we're going to do is we're going to Phantom Force with the Dragapults. Phantom Force will not hit Mega Gengar this turn. and this is also another reason why we couldn't equip choice specs. Phantom Force will not KO Mega Gengar this turn, and it takes a 1 charge turn. However, and during the charge turn, Dragapult will be immune to all of the attacks, so there's no fiction happening here with Sludge Wave critting and poisoning our Dragapult. With Primarina, we are also holding a Shed Shell, so we could also switch out Primarina this turn, and we're going to switch out into Glacia. Now, Blastoise, I think, will almost always fake out into the Primarina this turn, because it doesn't see any kills, and Fake Out has the highest, not in terms of the turn priority, but in terms of the AI prioritization. So it should be Fake Out into Glacia. Glacia should always tank Fake Out crit plus Sludge Wave crit. This is also why we scaled Special Defense onto our Glacia. And Sludge Wave always puts the Glacia into range of Emergency Exit, so we can switch out into another Mon. So in we go into Glacia. This Blastoise also has the move Follow Me. So Follow Me, the AI generally, I think, randomly clicks it. It is it should be the same level of prioritization as other moves. We do not want the Blastoise to click Follow Me. We do not want it to click Follow Me. Okay, so poisoned. Nice. Emergency exit activates. It should always activate, but sometimes Run and Bun, apparently this ability is bugged. I haven't experienced the bug yet, or maybe I did once in a negligible fight. This is really, really, really good for us. We now want to switch out Glacia. As I just mentioned, this Blastoise has Fake Out. We do not want Blastoise to click Fake Out. If it clicks Fake Out, our Phantom Force gets redirected into Blastoise, and then Gengar could potentially pick up an Oko into either of our Mons. And if we lose either of our Mons, we are in trouble. However, as you might remember, our Weavile has the move Fake Out, and Fake Out has a higher priority compared to Follow Me, which means this turn, we are just going to Fake Out into Blastoise to ensure that it doesn't click Follow Me. So Fake Out into Blastoise, and the Phantom Force should then land onto the Gengar and pick up an Oko from there. Beautiful. So Papa Berry pops on Blastoise, doesn't really matter. And Blastoise finches. So yeah, okay. So Phoebe is down into to her last Mon, which is Blastoise. We're just going to click Dragon Darts. It doesn't really matter what we do with Dragon Pulse here, but we need to switch Weavile out. So we need to switch Weavile out. Doesn't really matter, but I think I'm just going to go into Prim. And the reason why we need to switch Weavile out is because Focus Blast from Blastoise would kill our Weavile. I think we could have knocked off the Blastoise that was in range. We were very fortunate to get the poison. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Focus Blast crit, as you can see here, never kills our Primarina. And poison should finish off our Blastoise. And that's Phoebe. 2 out of 5, baby. Let's go. Woo. So I believe this was actually a riskless fight because of our line. So I'm very happy about that line. On to Glacia next. So we have completed 2 double battles, which means the next 2 battles would be single battles. Again, we need to do some preparation before Glacia. The lines should be relatively simple from this point on because they are single battles. Single battles are generally easier to plan around. Having said that, these battles are not easy at all. In fact, my Glacia and my Drake are not riskless. So we want to restore PP now. We used Fake Out. We used Knockoff. We used, I believe, Aerial Ace doesn't really matter. We used Draco, we used Darts, we used Phantom Force. Getting kind of nervous. What other moves did we use here? I don't think we actually used any moves here. I'll double check the PPs just in case, but let's see. Oh, so we used Searching Strike, so we want to let her bury that. Cool, alright. And then now, at this point, we could heal all of our Mons back to full except for Dragapult. So let's do that right now. Urshifu doesn't need to be poisoned anymore. It only needed to be poisoned for the earlier fight so that it was always in range of Giratina Dragon Pulse. That's why it was pre-poisoned for the first 2 fights. So, yep, max potion here. Max potion here. Yep. I think the rest should be fine. So, this is where we have a very funny cook. Weavile is going to be holding the Wattmel berry. I'll explain why it's holding a Wattmel berry later. If you don't know what a Wattmel berry is, it's fine. Nobody really knows what a Wattmel berry is. But you'll see why we equip it a little bit later. What else here? Goodra needs to be holding the Steel Gem. Let me find the Steel Gem. Perfect. So Goodra needs to be holding Steel Gem. We no longer need it to hold Shet Shell. Primarina could be holding a Citrus. I think the item doesn't really matter here, but it's always good measure to equip a Citrus, I think. Glacia, interestingly, will be holding a Choice Scarf for this fight. One of the slowest mons in the game will be holding a Choice Scarf. Dragapult will be holding a Choice Band, and again, can't be healed back to full. And Urshifu will be holding an Spear Berry, which is the Freeze Berry. Alright, so we will lead the fights with Urshifu this game. And the rest, again, the order doesn't really matter, but I'll change it just for good measure. In order of when I expect to send out these mons. Yep, I think the order should be correct now. Okay. This is so tiring, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my energy levels up. But I'm also trying to remain calm for these fights. Glacia, let's go. I hope you can show me that you're not like the rest. I am like the rest of the Nuzlockers, but I'm a good Pokemon player, baby. Let's go. Singles! Let's go. So, Glacia's gonna lead with Mamoswine here. Mamoswine is holding a Focus Sash, I believe. However, that's not going to matter because we have one of the most broken moves in the game, which is Surging Strikes. Surging Strikes always hit 3 times. It hits through the Focus Sash and helps us get rid of Mamoswine right here. So goodbye Mamoswine, gone. So Dark Urshifu is generally better for the Elite Four compared to Water Urshifu, but being able to Oko Mamoswine like that is one of the key benefits of having Water Shifu in this game. So now, Glacia sends out Enamorus. This should always be Moonblast into the Urshifu, so we're going to switch into Goodra and tank this hit. This should do roughly a third. Cannot crit us because we're Shell Armor. And now we outspeed and KO them with a Steel Gem boosted Heavy Slam. It doesn't matter that we are timid nature on this Goodra. Heavy Slam, it always Okos the Enamorus. So Enamorus faints, and now this should always bait out Calyrex. Now, Goodra should always be in range after the Moonblast of a high horsepower by the Calyrex. Now, this could also be Glacial Lance, I believe. Oh no, actually, yeah. This could also be Glacial Lance. We prefer high horsepower here, but as long as it's not Glacial Lance crit, this shouldn't matter. Even if Glacial Lance crits, we could steer out of it. It is not the end of the world. However, we would really prefer not to see a crit here. So we go out into Glacia. Now, Glacia is Scarfed. And if you remember, we actually scaled 31 speed on this Glacia as well. And we scaled 31 attack. both of these scales were mainly for this fight. We're going to use it. The 31 attack is going to matter in a later fight as well. But the reason why we had to scale 31 attack on this Glacia and 31 speed is because we needed to outspeed this Calyrex and show a potential 2H KO with Leech Life, or just with First Impression, into this Calyrex. This makes it so that the Calyrex cannot Sword Stance. If it's Sword Stance, we're in big trouble, because Sword Stance could potentially crit through my entire team and kill my Mons, and I cannot afford to let any of my Mons die. So instead, we're going to go for Leech Life now. Leech Life should heal us almost back to full, and this Calyrex should always go for Glacial Lance. It cannot set up because we show a fast 2-hit KO. Let's go. Glacia, Leech Life. Leech Life most of the time is not going to be a 2-hit KO, unless it gets a crit. Okay. Okay, crit is actually interesting here. It changes my line up a little bit. I need to figure out what this Glacia baits. Okay. Whew, I did not expect to crit here. Okay, what does this crit do? What does this crit mean for me? Okay, this is kind of tricky actually. So Glacia always outspeeds the Abomasnow in the back, and always outspeeds the Arctivish outside of Hail as well. This should mean it should always bait the Kyurem White, which is the only thing remaining on Glacia's team that outspeeds Glacia. There is some fiction that could happen here if I do decide to go with this line. The fiction that could happen here is... Actually, no. No, I think I'm always safe. Alright, I think I could always go for Leech Life. So, again, just to recap and just to double check, Glacia is never in range of any of Glacia's attacks with her remaining Mons. Glacia outspeeds the Abomasnow, so she cannot send it in. Outspeeds Arctivish right now because there's no Hail up. Arctivish has the ability Slush Rush, but it's only activated within Hail, so it doubles the speed. So right now Arctivish is still slower than us. Kyurem is currently the only Mon that is faster than us after we kill this Calyrex. This Calyrex should always be in range of Leech Life right now after the crit. Afterwards, when Kyurem White gets sends in, it should always click Dragon Pulse, which is the highest damaging move into Glacia. This gives us a free switch into Primarina. So Leech Life, here we go. I really hope I got this right. I haven't considered this part of the line. I think I did ages ago when I first cooked up this line for E4. But this is, I thought this was fiction. You know, I never get crits. It's always the opponent getting crits on me. Okay, so Kyurem should now always click Dragon Pulse. This gives us a free switch into Primarina. Primarina is immune to Dragon Pulse, and then now it doesn't really matter which move the Kyurem clicks, because Prim is just going to get off a slow flip turn into our Choice Band Dragon Pulse. So Prim's job in this fight is to soak up a hit by this Kyurem. So it's going to soak up this Earth Power. Crit never kills us. And then we go for flip turn to get out of there. And what we're going to do is we're going to send in Choice Band Dragon Pulse. Choice Band Dragon Pulse to click Dragon Tarts, and it is always a guaranteed kill into this Kyurem. Now, the reason why we taught Dragon Pulse Fire Blast is actually not to click it. The reason why is because we do not want Glacia to send out Abomasnow first. If Glacia sends out Abomasnow first, sure, it will drop to Dragon Pulse Fire Blast. Sure, I can switch out or whatever, tank the hint. I should be fine from there. However, crucially, we do not want Glacia to get up Hail. If Glacia gets up Hail with Abomasnow first, then Arctivish outspeeds and threatens my entire team. I think it doesn't outspeed Dragon Pulse, even under Slush Rush, but my Dragon Pulse cannot kill the Arctivish. So we taught it Fire Blast so that Glacia would be scared to send it Abomasnow first, and would therefore send in Arctivish first. Arctivish never dies to Dragon Pulse attacks, and always sees kill with an ice move, with a random ice move onto Dragon Pulse. we are going to go into Urshifu. Again, Urshifu is equipping the Spear Berry, which is the Freeze Berry, in case Artifish freezes us this turn. So there should be Blizzard or the other ice move, Icicle Crash, I believe. Blizzard does hit. It could freeze us, however, that doesn't matter if it does freeze us, because we're holding the Spear Berry. Okay, it doesn't freeze us. Again, that doesn't matter. Now we're just going to go for a close combat. We outspeed the Artifish and KO it with a close combat. And then all Glacia has remaining is a Mega Abomasnow, which also drops to Urshifu's close combat. So that's Glacia done. Whew. Another riskless fight. Let's go. The next fight is not riskless. The next fight, there is some fiction that can happen there. So, we'll see. We'll see. But if everything goes smooth, then that's good for my heart. Whew. Goodbye, Glacia. Goodbye, Abomasnow. I love Abomasnow, by the way. For those who have followed my VGC career, you would have known that I top cut a few tournaments with Abomasnow. I was known for the snow person for a while. Even in Worlds, which I attended, I brought Ninetales, which unfortunately for Abomasnow replaced it for that tournament. But every time I've done well in the tournament, almost every time, I brought a Snowmon with me. So it's a really special place in my heart. But I'm so glad that we don't have to deal with Glacia anymore. She really is a nightmare. Alright. 3 out of 5 done. 2 more to go. Again, you know the drill by now. We need to Lepa Berry up our Mons. So here we click Surging Strikes. We click Close Combat twice. So we're gonna Lepa Berry that as well. What else did we click? We clicked Leech Life. Did we click Flick Out last game? I don't think we did. Oh, by the way, so the Weavile, I forgot to explain this just now because we got the crit. The reason why I was holding a Wattmel Berry is if we didn't crit the Calyrex, Leech Life would have been a 3-hit KO, very likely. If Leech Life was a 3-hit KO, Calyrex was holding a Custap Berry, and it would have ejected our Glacia out eventually. In that case, we needed to go into Weavile. We needed to click Knockoff or whatever move to kill the Calyrex. Beyond that, we do not want to bait out the Abomasnow for the similar reasons of why we taught Fire Blast to Dragapult, so you should get the logic. The way we prevented Abomasnow from coming out, if our Weavile was out, was we had Wattmel Berry Natural Gift, which actually turns into a 90 base power fire move, which is 4 times super effective against Abomasnow. Abomasnow is afraid of that, and therefore Glacia will send out Kyurem first. And when Glacia sends out Kyurem, we then go into Primarina. And Primarina should tank hits. I think a double crit could have been really troublesome for us. But otherwise, we tank, I believe, what is likely a Fusion Flare, and then we can tank an Earth Power after that, a flip turn out of there, and then the line is the same as what actually happened just now. So that was the reason why Weavile was holding the Wattmel Berry. So Dragon Darts, we restore that. I believe our PP should be good. Let me just do a quick check. Aerial Ace is fine, we don't need it. Heavy Slam, we're not going to click it. Cool. Alright, so we are leading Weavile this game. Let me just take all the items away so I don't accidentally give the wrong item to my Mons. Whew. Okay. I am honestly a little bit scared of this fight. There are multiple things that could go wrong in this fight. We have the potential to steer out of all of them, even if a lot has to go wrong, I think, for us to wipe. But it can still happen, especially with certain parts that you'll see later. Okay, so let's do the items. Let's do the healing. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a mess right now. I'm kind of nervous for this fight, but let's do the healing. Again, we do not want to heal Dragapult. Let's heal the rest first. Okay. Another thing we are doing for good measure here, we are likely not going to click it, but we are teaching Goodra the move Ice Beam. Again, we're likely not going to click it, but in case there is some heavy fiction that happens, I think we don't need Flash Cannon anymore anyway. We don't need our Ice Team TM for anything else, so we might as well be safe. Items now. Weavile gets the Choice Scarf here. Dragapult gets the Choice Band. Urshifu gets a Rocky Helmet here. Glacia gets a Citrus Berry. Primarina gets a Lumberry. And Goodra gets an Eject Button. I think we're ready. Double check the items. Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Rocky Helmet, Citrus Berry, Lumberry, Eject Button. Let's go, Drake. Do I know what is needed? If not, I'll never prevail over you. Drake, I'd like to think that I know what's needed. Hopefully not my famous last words. Let's go, Drake. So again, this is a single battle. Drake is going to lead off with a Dragapult. His Dragapult is max speed. Our Dragapult is naive 30 speed, so we underspeed it by 1 point. And even if we scaled speed, we would have speed tied with this Dragapult. So the only way to outspeed it and kill it was a Weavile knockoff. So yeah, and this is also one of the fights where I think the the adamant nature on Weavile matters. We now have the Choice Scarf and outspeed the Dragapult and just Oko it with a knockoff. So Dragapult goes down. Now, this is one of the very scary parts about the fight. Drake is going to send out Crawdaunt next. Crawdaunt is holding the Focus Sash. This turn, Crawdaunt could go for 2 moves. It either goes for Close Combat, which is what we want to see, or it could go for Crab Hammer, because this Weavile is weak, it's paper thin. So there are certain rolls of Crab Hammer that kill our Weavile. Crawdaunt is more likely going to go for a Close Combat, and we'd be super happy if it does. But for now, we cannot safely switch into Urshifu, which is the mon that we want to safe into, in the off chance that, or in the likely event that the Crawdaunt goes for Close Combat. So instead, we're going to pivot through Dragapults. We would really like to see Close Combat here. If we see Close Combat here, we should be safe no matter what. Please be Close Combat. That's really, really good. So now Dragapult should only be in range of the Dark type attack, Lash Out by Crawdaunt. We're going to take advantage of this and go into Urshifu to soak up the Lash Out, which is not very effective against Urshifu. Lash Out crit is okay. It's absolutely okay with us, by us. And more crucially, Lash Out is going to activate our Rocky Helmet, which is going to break the Crawdaunt's Sash. This makes it so that this turn, we could go for a safe Break 1-hit KO into our Crawdaunt. Now, Close Combat obviously does the same trick. However, we do not want to drop our defenses because that leads to inconsistencies later and the turn after. So, yeah, instead we went for Break. Oh. I might have messed up here. Oh, I needed to pre-damage Urshifu, actually. I was expecting Reshiram to come in, but this is really bad. Oh no. So, yeah, I messed up something. I messed up part of the plan. But I think this should be fine. Oh man. This is a bit troublesome. Okay. So the Zygarde could go for Glare now, which would be really chaotic for us. It would be really, really bad. I think I might just have to risk it, to be honest. Yeah, so the situation here now is I thought Reshiram was going to go in, but I forgot to pre-damage Urshifu for this. I think I needed to pre-damage Urshifu a bit more, but the problem when I do that is Crabhammer would have really fucked us there. We actually needed to go for a close combat, I think. We needed to go for close combat. I should have been more careful there. I fucked up. Oh well. Man, close combat wouldn't have been totally safe because I'm still in range of some of Reshiram's attacks and I couldn't bait moves consistently, but it would have been a lot better than the situation now. So yeah, the situation now is Zygarde could go for Glare, it could go for Coil. Neither of those moves are ideal. If it goes for Glare, does our Weavile still outspeed? Let's see. If it goes for Glare, our Weavile no longer outspeeds it, which is really annoying. Ugh. Can I go into Goodra here? If I go into Goodra and it coils, I'm kind of fucked, aren't I? And I need Goodra later for the men. I think I might just have to risk Weavile here. Is that the right move? Or should I just let... Maybe I stay in and Surging Strikes. What item is Urshifu voting again? A Rocky Helmet, okay. I think I stay in this turn and Surging Strikes. If it coils, then I Surging Strikes again and it should put in range of certain attacks. Because I don't need Urshifu for the rest of this fight. Alright, Surging Strikes, here we go. Okay, it goes for Glare here. We would really like to hit through the para. That would be really good. That's really bad. It's really fucking bad. Where do I go from here? So we can't go for Glare now. That's the good thing about this turn. I think I just have to go into Weavile and risk. I would really like to see Zygarde attack this turn. Because Weavile doesn't really care about Thousand Arrows and Dragon Claw. It can't go for Glare now, that's a good thing. If it goes for Coil, that's bad, because the turn after, it'll probably go for... It'll survive my Icicle Crash. And then it could go for Glare or +1 Thousand Arrows. Either way, it's not ideal, but I think we go into Weavile here. Because if it coils, it just goes out of control afterwards. So please just go for an attack, Zygarde, please. That's really, really good. We're still not out of the woods. Yeah, we were never dead to a Thousand Arrows crit, so that's okay. And now I think we have to finish the Zygarde off with the Icicle Crash. What does this bait out after? I think it baits out this... Am I in range of Suicune's attacks? I am in range of some rolls of Scald, so it should bait out the Suicune. I think this is okay for me, actually. This is okay for me. Okay, so this will likely be Scald, because I am in range of like more than half Scald rolls. Sorry, I need to send out a message real quick. But basically, we're going to go into Primarina. Yes. So we're going to Primarina. I was gonna go somewhere, but then I feel like I would be late now because I have to steer. So Suicune does go for Scald. Unfortunately, it gets the burn. We really didn't want to see it, but it is what it is. Yeah, so it eats up our Lumberry. Next turn, I think Suicune is a guaranteed to go for Calm Mind. That's okay. I think sorry, let me send off this message and tell them I'm going to be late first. Okay. We got this, we got this. I think we have to click Perish first no matter what. What we really don't want to see is another Scald Burn from Suicune. If this is sub, that's fine. That's totally fine. That's actually best case scenario. We really want them to go for sub. If it goes for Calm Mind, that's not as ideal, but it should still be okay. Either way, we want to start the Perish counter as soon as possible. So this turn we go for the Perish Song. This Suicune is a demon. It's the main reason why we scaled Perish Song on this Primarina. Burn here would really suck. Thankfully, it doesn't burn. Whew, okay. So again, we are in a situation this turn where Suicune could go for one of three moves. So we could go for Scald, Substitute, or Calm Mind. Substitute or Calm Mind would be really, really good here. Because this turn we're going for Encore. We don't really want to see Scald here. If we do, it's not ideal, but we could still pivot our way out of it. But Substitute or Calm Mind would be more ideal. That's a 2/3 chance that it goes for it. And honestly, it would really suck to miss 2/3 in a row, but this fight has been so chaotic so far. So please, quit Suicune. Just go for Calm Mind or Substitute, please. Oh my fucking god, it's Scald again. Watch it get the crit burn. Okay, at least it doesn't burn, which is okay, So what is the move here? I think I want a Draining Kiss to get some recovery back. Obviously burn would not be ideal, but at the same time I want to keep Prim healthy, because there is a chance... this is really difficult. This is really, really difficult. Okay, I need to plan ahead. So right now, Drake has Reshiram and Mence left. Suicune is guaranteed to go for Scald this turn. We want to preserve some HP on Primarina because we might... So Drake has a chance of switching out Suicune and switching it back in later. I am inclined to go into Urshifu, but in a turn after, I'd be a bit... unsure of what to go for, because we don't want to. I don't think we want to stay in with Urshifu the turn after, no matter what. Or maybe we do. So after we take one Scald, we should always be in Dragon Pulse range. Which means we could switch into Glacia the turn after if they send in Reshiram, and then go from there. Okay, I think Urshifu is fine. But then what do we... So this turn, Suicune's Perish counter is going to go down to 1. And then next turn, if it stays in, it's fine. If it switches out, it's kind of annoying. Or maybe we switch into Glacia. If it switches out, can we... Is there any way we can punish or switch out? Does the Mence have Dragon? It does have Dragon Mence, but I shouldn't click it, I think. Oh, this is so bad. I think I might have to go into Urshifu. And then maybe switch back out after. I guess I don't need the Prim. Okay. Yeah, Urshifu. Yeah, okay. I switch out to Urshifu this turn, and then I think I switch back out into Prim. The idea being, if it stays in, then I don't need the Prim anymore, right? Suicune just perishes, and I don't need the Prim anymore for this fight. If it switches out, what would it switch out into? I think it switches out into Reshiram, right? Because Reshiram outspeeds and kills, and sees a kill on my Urshifu. Yeah, it sees guaranteed kill with Dragon Pulse on my Urshifu. So it switches out into Reshiram. Afterwards, we should... okay. So there is some fiction that can happen still. It's like a 50-50 in my favor, but I could get really heavily fucked, basically, after it. Do I just stay in with Urshifu? I don't think I do, because if I take one more Scald, I'm in range of Blue Flare anyway. Yeah, if I switch out to Prim, I don't think there's any way I could do this riskless. I think I think we are risking a Glacia to a crit, and if it dies, I am pretty fucked. I'm pretty fucking fucked. Yeah, okay, I think that's just how it is. Could I risk Goodra? Can I send in Goodra? If I send in Goodra, is there any way? What is my Dragapult doing again? Is it Choice Band? Yeah, it's Choice Band. I think there is a safe way. I might have to sack Weavile. I might have to. Oh god, Choice Band, Dragon Darts might not even kill Mega Mance. Does it? And I can't sack Weavile because I need Weavile to. I think Weavile's the only thing that could kill Mance. In that case, I think I just have to risk. It's just such a headache. I think I just have to risk crit on the Lysopod at this point. Primarina, let's go. I think it's a crit. It's not just a crit. It's random move crit. So it's a 50% chance of 1/6. Oh fuck! This is so bad. And also, this was a 50% chance to begin with, I think. So it would be a yeah. So basically, Reshiram could click either Earth Power or Blue Flare here. Oh, actually, fuck! I'm fucked. Even if it clicks Earth Power, I still risk the Blue Flare to turn after. Can I go into Urshifu here? Yes, but it doesn't really help me accomplish anything, does it? Yeah. No, or actually no. Urshifu just dies to crit. Well, do I risk crit or do I go into Goodra? Crit is fictional, right? I've been so fucking unlucky this game. I've been so fucking unlucky. Everything has gone against me, and it's still not over because the Suicune's still alive. If I go into Goodra, how do I deal with Immense? If I go into Goodra, Dragapult kills. Oh, actually, I could go into Goodra because regular Mence never sees return kill on the Dragapult. I think it should always go for Earthquake. It never regular. So Drake is gonna send in the Salamence. It's gonna intimidate my Dragapult, and then it's gonna go for Earthquake, right? It has to go for Earthquake. So if it goes for Earthquake, we could potentially abuse this by going into Glacia. Oh no, but it still has Suicune. It still has Suicune. Will it send in Suicune first? I think it will. But then I risk freeze on Prim, which is still, I mean, likely anyway. It's like 10%. I think this is less risky than freeze on Prim, right? So, sorry, I know I should be thinking out loud, but I'm just, I don't know what to do right now. I think I just go into Golisopod. Please don't Blue Flare crit, please, 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 please don't Blue Flare crit. Either way, I think I'm risking Prim. I think I just have to go into Golisopod. What if it Earth Powers, though? If Earth Powers, I'm still fucked. Then I kind of have to go into Goodra. Go into Goodra, Halt, kill the Reshiram. He sends in Suicune. I risk the crit. So I really want to see Blue Flare non-crit here, basically, because if it goes for Earth Power, then Golisopod is still not in. It still won't eject out, and then it's going to click Blue Flare, right? So and then if it clicks Blue Flare has a chance to burn, right? So I can't, yeah, 20% chance to burn target. So I can't switch into Dragapult safely from that either. So then, sending Goodra, eject out, going to Dragapult, darts it, switch back into Prim. And then I perish the Suicune. Okay, and then I just use Glacia to weather the storm. This is so bad. This is so fucking bad. Do I risk Glacia first? I take an Earth Power first, I guess? Okay, assuming a blue flares, which is best case scenario. Blue flare non-crits, which is best case scenario. Then I go into Dragon Ball, pick up the KO, risk Prim freeze. If it Earth Powers, I just go into... Yeah, I think I go into Glacia first, hoping for the blue flare. If it clicks Earth Power, that's fine. It could click Earth Power, although I think blue flare is more likely right now. Yes, blue flare is more likely than Earth Power because it does slightly more damage to Primarina. If it does click Earth Power, we just switch into Goodra the turn after and then burn up the Goodra's eject button. Please just don't be blue flare crit. My run's over if it is. Please, please. Please be blue flare non-crit. Non-crit, non-crit. Please, 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 please. Holy fucking shit, I thought that was a crit. Oh, holy fucking shit. Oh my god, I thought that was a crit. I think that was just a high roll, but not a crit. Okay, so Dragapult, here we go. We pre-damaged Dragapult because previously we were hoping, Zygarde was supposed to come in on Dragapult. It's holding a Habanberry and it's never died to our attacks. And at this HP, we always bait Dragon Claw, and Dragon Claw never kills Weavile. We just switch into Weavile and then Ice Cold Crash the Zygarde. So that was really lucky that I didn't crit. I'm gonna go Dragon Darts now to KO the Reshiram. And then I think it should be. Oh, it might not be... Yeah, I think it should be Suicune either way. Yeah, it's Suicune, and then it'll go for either Ice Beam, Sub, or Calm Mind, I think. I think none of my attacks actually kill. I think it's likely Calm Mind or Sub. Sub would... Please just show us Sub. You clicked Scald twice just now, and you burned up my berry. Please. Please, 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 please. Nice! Sub is so fucking good here. Oh my god, Sub is unbelievably good. Okay, we don't care about Sub because we perish through the Sub. No crit, no burn. No crit, no burn. Oh, that's so good. Okay. So now it is a 50-50 between Scald and Calm Mind. This fucking Suicune has clicked Scald every single fucking time so far. Please just be Calm Mind. If it is Calm Mind, we are in such a good position. Because now we're going for the Encore. Yes! Yes! Fuck you, Suicune! Fuck you! Woo! Okay, so we get off the Encore. And now crucially, very crucially, we could get some Draining Kiss recovery. The reason why is because Suicune could still switch out the turn after. And we might need to repeat this process of Perish Singing again. So... this turn, Suicune is going to stay in and Calm Mind. We are going to Draining Kiss. Good. Okay, so the extra HP is nice because, again, we're going to switch in Primarina the turn after. You know, the burn, we might get burned, we might get crits, etc., etc. Nice. This is very, very good extra HP. And now the Perish counter falls to 1. And what we could do here to cover for any scenario is we could go for the flip turn. Suicune stays in, so goodbye, Suicune. And now, we flip turn. And I believe we flip turn out into Goodra. It is only Mence that is alive, right? We flip turn out into Goodra. Goodra, again, is holding the eject button. So whatever hit it takes, it is going to switch out automatically, right? Remember this, it is very important. Suicune, goodbye. You gave us so much trouble. Holy, this was too close for comfort. And if you remember, we taught this Gudra the move Ice Beam. Now, right now, the Salamence is in base form, and it sees that it dies to some rolls of Ice Beam. This would mean that it does not set up with Dragon Dance. It would always go for the Mega Evolve Earthquake. Thanks to Shell Armor, we never die to this Earthquake, and we can switch out safely into Weavile. The reason why we didn't send in Weavile to begin with is because base form Salamence has the ability Intimidate. Much like the first fight with Sidney, Intimidate would have made it so that our Weavile does not see a kill with Icicle Crash. Or just does not kill with Icicle Crash and then drops to an Earthquake or Return or whatever. But yeah, so if our Weavile was inner focus, we would have saved 2 eject buttons. We would have saved the eject pack and the eject button. But yeah, thankfully we don't need those 2 items for any other part of the fight. Weavile just outspeeds and kills with Icicle Crash right now. Icicle Crash is 100% accurate in this game, so there's no risk behind this play. Holy shit. I know it was just 1 crit, so I know it was 1 crit and it was a 50 well, the 50-50, it wasn't exactly a 50-50, but it was just 1 crit, so 1/16 chance that I wipe. But this fight was still scary as fuck, bro. And then not to mention there was other fiction that could have happened with the Suicune, right? Like theoretically, it could have gone for Scald Burn, Scald crits, and then our Primarina wouldn't have soaked up all of those attacks. So this was definitely not a riskless fight, and I even messed up with the Urshifu. I should have gone for close combat there. If I'd gone for close combat there, I'm risking a 50-50 blue flare crit into Glacia. But yeah, like wow, this fight was so stressful. Lesson learned, I need to take things slow, right? Because in certain parts of the line, it was a no-brainer for me to click Break, right? If Crawdon had crits or gone for another move, let's say it was a Crab Hammer into my Urshifu instead, like a Crab Hammer crit, for example, then I needed all that HP, and then I needed to break to make sure I'm not in range of Blue Flare, and I always bait Dragon Pulse. But then I forgot to check this part of the line because I did this plan. I cooked up this plan a while ago, and I just clicked the buttons without thinking, which was a bad rookie mistake. But thankfully we are past that. We dodged a 1/16 crit. Sorry, this part was kind of slow. I didn't expect that I had to steer like that, and now we are on to Wallace. Wallace, baby, let's go. I'm so happy I survived that. Holy shit, that was so stressful. That was so stressful. Yeah, again, let's restore our PPs for all of our moves. I know I had to steer, but having said that, I was kind of unlucky for some bits, like the Urshifu getting para into full para. That was kind of unlucky, I thought. But then it got offset by the fact that they didn't Koyo after. Koyo would have totally fucked me on the Zygarde. It wasn't like a sure lose situation, but it was still looking pretty dire from there. Yeah, by the way, PP management was very important because Suicune had the ability Pressure, so I think my Prim was actually out of Encore and Perish songs to the or I only have 1 PP left of each, so if I didn't restore PPs from previous fights, I would have just lost that fight because I ran out of PP. PP management, very important. We'll always have to remember to do that. Let's check out these moves. Okay, nice. So, for the Wallace fight, we are going to lead Gudra. I think for this fight, we are actually restoring all of our mons to full. Let's give Gudra a max potion. Dragapult. Glacia. Oh, so stressful. I'm still feeling the adrenaline in my system. I felt it in the beginning in the E4 as well, but that was mostly stress. But that steering was just, oh my god. Okay. So, items now. Gudra will be holding the Shell Bell. I need to make sure it says Shell Bell. I previously made a mistake and accidentally gave him on Shed Shell instead of Shell Bell. Thankfully, it didn't matter that time. But yeah, Gudra should hold the Shell Bell. Dragapult needs to be holding the Life Orb. Where are you, Lord? Urshifu needs to be holding the Choice Band for this fight. Prim needs to be holding Citrus Berry. Glacia needs to be holding the Bug Gem. These, as you can see, these gems have been so clutch during the E4. We had the Dark Gem, the Dragon Gem, and now a Bug Gem. Where are you, Bug Gem? I probably missed it just now. I need to stay focused, I really do. And last but not least, we have one last cook. The Lychee Berry. Lychee Berry for a Weavile. Now, Lychee Berry is a berry that increases our attack when we are in a quarter HP or less. You will see how we use this move a little bit later. Couple of other minor things. It shouldn't be too important, but I want to teach Glacia Rock Smash. We don't need to move Liquidation anymore. Wallace has a team full of water types, so Liquidation isn't going to be doing much. And another thing, which should be negligible, but in certain lines, like you saw just now, if I forgot to account for something, just in case that happens again, I'm going to teach Dragapult the Thunderbolt. And we are going to replace Fire Blast, because under the heavy rain we cannot use that move anyway. And as I said, Wallace's team is full of water types, so we're not going to be clicking Fire Blast at all. One last check before we do this. So let's put Thunder first. Shell Bell, Life Orb. We have Banded Urshifu. We have Bug Gem, Glacia, Citrus Berry, Prim, and Weavile. Alright. Wallace, here we go. Wallace, here we go. So. Oh, whoops. Wrong room. Long ass staircase, and let's go. Let's fucking go right now. Wallace, me and you. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's finish this quick. Let's finish this. I'm pumped. Let's go. Right here, right now. Wallace, baby. So Wallace is going to lead with the Primal Kyogre, which is going to set up the Heavy Rain. I believe Kyogre could go for one of two moves in this situation into our Goodra. It could either go for Origin Pulse, or it could go for Liquidation. There are some overlapping roles. It is slightly more likely to go for Origin Pulse. We would prefer that, but it really doesn't matter, to be honest. The reason why Goodra is holding Shell Bell is because max roll Liquidation into defense drop into another max roll Liquidation kills our Goodra. Now, I know this is extremely fictional, 1 over 100 something, maybe even 200 something, but we cannot risk it. We need to ensure that this Goodra gets at least 2 attacks into the Kyogre. We're going to go for Thunder here. Now, Thunder has a chance to paralyze. Yeah, Thunder has a chance to paralyze, however, it doesn't really matter. Goodra's main job is to get off 2 hits into our Kyogre. If we get the para, it is a nice bonus. So, nice bonus here. And again, we're going to heal off some HP using the Shell Bell. That, I believe, was a low roll Thunder, but it doesn't really matter, especially now that we got the Thunder. Even if we double low rolled Thunder and didn't get the para, I think it was fine. Goodra could still die here. I think Thunder would probably not be a 3-hit KO now that we got a low roll in the first one. It could happen, but unlikely. Yeah, so we restore some more HP using Shell Bell. Now Kyogre goes for Origin Pulse. I think this puts us in range for another attack. There is a small chance that we survive another attack, and it could get parried as well. And that looks like a high roll for the second Thunder, so this Thunder might kill. I'm not expecting to. I'm expecting Goodra to go down this turn. If it doesn't go down, that is a nice bonus for us, but it's completely unnecessary. So yeah, Kyogre survives. We get some more Shell Bell recovery. This should put us out of range of the low rolls for Origin Pulse or Liquidation. But I think, yeah, most scenarios, Goodra just drops. Goodbye, Goodra. Thank you so much for carrying me. We got this Goodra at Shoal Cave, and it just carried me across the later parts of the game. So now we go into Dragapult. Dragapult naturally outspeeds Kyogre and just KOs it with any move. We're just going to go for Dragon Darts, although it doesn't really matter what we click here. As long as it's not Draco. I think we don't want to go for Draco, but otherwise it's fine. So yeah, that's the first mon of Wallace down. Next, Wallace should send out his own Goodra. Now this is where some fiction could happen in this fight. We are first going to go into Glacia. I believe our Dragapult is this should always be heavy slam onto our Dragapults. The reason why is because with the Life Orb we show 2-hit KO, fast 2-hit KO into Goodra, and this should never be Curse. So and heavy slam obviously does more damage to Dragapult into Dragapult. So this should always be heavy slam. We're going to go into Glacia, which should take very little damage from the heavy slam. So this is where some extreme fiction, well, not extreme, it's not that extreme actually, but some fiction can happen. So here's the situation. Goodra is now incentivized to go for Curse onto Glacia. There's a 90% chance, I believe, that Goodra would go for Curse in this situation. This is because Glacia doesn't show a 3-hit KO. It's slower than the Goodra and doesn't show a 3-hit KO onto Goodra. So it's very likely to go for Curse here. However, there's still a small chance, like less than a 10% chance, or 10% chance, that Goodra would attack here. Goodra could go for one or two moves. It could go for Aqua Tail, Rain boost the Aqua Tail, or it could go for Heavy Slam. Aqua Tail is slightly more powerful than Heavy Slam, however, there are some overlapping roles. What this means is that it is more likely to go for Aqua Tail if it is to attack. But again, there's only a 10% chance that Goodra attacks here. Most other scenarios, it just goes for Curse. So we're going to go into Premier Arena here. The way we wipe is if Goodra goes for the attack, number one, 10% chance, goes for the Heavy Slam, which is a 50-50, or less than that actually, because Aqua Tail is more likely. And so it has to see a low roll on Aqua Tail and see a high roll on Heavy Slam in order to roll it. So that's number two. And number three, if it crits. If it crits our Premier Arena, we are fucked. So please, just let it be Curse here. Please be Curse. Aqua Tail is still fine. It's really not ideal, but it is still fine. Thank God. So it is a Curse right here. And what we're going to do here, since it went for Curse, we are going to go for Encore first. Curse lowered the Goodra's speed, so now the Goodra is slower than our Prim. We are going to go for Encore, and we're going to go for a strategy that you've seen multiple times already, this E4. We're going to Encore Goodra into Curse so that it is useless. It's just a sitting duck using Curse. I believe Curse is 10 PP in this game, so we don't have to worry too much about PP management. But now that Goodra is stuck in here, we just go for Perish Song. And we need to watch out for the Encore turns. Right now, Goodra is still Encored. This could get awkward, actually. I forgot to consider when Encore ends. I believe it doesn't end when Perish counter falls to 1. So here we should safely Draining Kiss. It doesn't really matter. We're not killing Goodra through Draining Kiss anyway, but we just need to burn a turn. And we need to stay, we need Primarina to stay in. Yeah, just to Encore the Goodra again when the Encore runs out. So this damage on Goodra is really not that much, but it's nice because there's a chance Wallace switches it out when the Perish counter is running out. So Encore ends this turn, which is really good because the Perish counter falls to 2. Now we Encore this turn so that it curses again. And then next turn we'll see whether it switches or not. If it switches, it is okay, but I think we might prefer the Goodra to stay in this position. So if it stays in, it is ideal. I think what we're likely going to do here is flip turn into our Glacia. Does it stay in? Perfect, it stays in. Okay, I need to check the HP range of our Glacia. So, this is good. Glacia after this should always bait in Palkia, which is what we want to do. So Goodra is going to feint to the Perish here. Goodbye, Gudra. Thank you for playing. One Gudra for another. And I believe we overcame all of the potential fiction in this fight. I believe we did. I don't wanna celebrate too early though. Let's see how the rest of this fight goes. So Palkia comes in. And this should always, not necessarily always, this could either be Draco Meteor or Focus Energy. It will likely be Draco, I think. Palkia sees a decent amount of kills into Glacia. What we're going to do here is we're going back into Primarina to hopefully soak up the Draco Meteor. If it's Focus Energy, it's still okay. I don't think it matters, but let's see. Okay, so it is Draco, which is the better scenario, but either way it should be pretty negligible. So again, this is a strategy we've seen earlier, but we're going to get off a slow flip turn. Primarina doesn't die to any of Palkia's attacks, and then it can safely flip turn. And guess which Mon we're going out into? Guess which Mon? Dragapult, let's go. And now, with the Life Orb, Dragapult outspeeds the Palkia, and should always kill it with Dragon Darts. So that's what we're going for. Bye, Palkia. And then next up should be Manaphy. The Barraskewda shouldn't see a kill on the Dragapult, and it should drop to all of my attacks. So Wallace shouldn't send out the Barraskewda. So this is a kind of a sad moment. Dragapult, we might lose Dragapult here. Actually, it's very likely we lose Dragapult eventually anyway. If we do, thank you so much, Dragapult. This really carried me through the game. I was very fortunate enough to get this as an encounter outside Mount Pyre, and it really saved my run. I think I wouldn't have made it this far without Dragapult. So let's see what the Manaphy goes for. We are first going to start off by going for Draco Meteor. I don't think he'd go for Tail Glow because it should see that we have a fast 2-hit KO on it. So I think this should always be Ice Beam, and I think we're dead to some Ice Beam rolls. Most Ice Beam rolls, I think. Okay, Dragapult refuses to die, but it gets to freeze. Oh no, actually freeze is really bad. Oh fuck, freeze is really, really bad. Fuck, I forgot to consider this. I would have preferred to faint. Freeze is really bad. So now we are incapacitated, which means I think there is a world where this Manaphy could go for Tail Glow. It also gets extra leftovers damage, which is really bad. Oh god. Oh god. That's so annoying. So the fiction wasn't over. The fiction was it low rolls freezes my Dragapult, which of course fucking happens. Okay, so setup moves. So initially, it shouldn't go for any setup move, right? However, now my Dragapult is incapacitated. So this gives Tail Glow an extra +3 points. Which means, I think, Manaphy always goes for Tail Glow now? Is that true? If above is not true, player cannot. So I forgot how this works. So if AI is slower and 2-hit KO'd by the player Mon, this should give Tail Glow an additional -5. So it wouldn't go for it, because then it only has a prioritization score of 4. But I forgot if the freeze overrides it. So I forgot, if it does override it, we are so fucked. We are really fucked. Maybe I just go out into Prim. We also need to see whether the Manaphy is in range of our attacks. I think we just stay in. Goodbye, Dragon Ball. Oh. I think we just stay in. I'm staying in, assuming that it still cannot go for Tail Glow. Because if I unthaw, if it could go for Tail Glow, then this AI documentation was written really poorly because it should specify that if the above is not true, then AI it overrides the -5, and it doesn't specify that clearly. So let's see what happens. Fucking hell, why? Whew. Oh right, it has slow kill. It has slow kill, so it was very unlikely to go for Tail Glow anyway, even if it didn't have the -5. Okay. So now we go into Weavile. I think there are still a couple of low rolls that could fuck us. Let's see. So first we go for Fake Out to chip the Manaphy a little bit more. It's not going to do that much, especially after leftovers, but it could be significant. Because you'll see what we go for after this. Wow, that was such a bad send-off to Dragapult. Should have just died with honor. So, the reason why we equipped Lychee Berry is not for the attack boost, but instead, we are going to go for a 100 base power natural gift grass into this Manaphy. And at this range, it looks like it always kills. Goodbye, Manaphy. Goodbye. Get out of here. So, next, Wallace should send in the Barraskewda. Barraskewda could do one of two things. It could either go for Liquidation, or it could go for Flip Turn. Both of these moves kill Weavile, so we're losing Weavile no matter what. Weavile, thank you so much for carrying me through E4. You were such a clutch late game encounter. But it's time for you to go. Doesn't really matter what Barraskewda does. I think we should have a safe line either way. So Barraskewda goes for Liquidation. Goodbye, Weavile. So the Barraskewda went for Liquidation and is still in right now. Oh, I forgot to heal Glacia just now. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Oh no, actually that was from... Never mind, that was from Budra's Heavy Slam. We are now going to go for the Bug Gem First Impression. Bug Gem was really important here because we couldn't get Glacia the Choice Band. The Choice Band is on Urshifu. You'll see later that is essential on Urshifu. So yeah, instead we're going to First Impression, and with the Bug Gem and with the 31 attack hard scale, it puts Barraskewda exactly in range of a Bug Gem boosted First Impression. Now, final part of the fight. Wallace sends out Swampert. The Swampert is going to Mega Evolve. We're just going to go for some damage, I think. It doesn't really matter what we do here. We just want to eject out of there. If we faint from a crit Stone Edge, that is okay as well. But for now, I guess we just go for Sucker Punch. This Swampert only has attacking moves, so it has to attack anyway. And it is in this position, it should be a guaranteed Stone Edge. We don't want to hard switch out into anything because we don't want to take any damage. So yep, it goes for Stone Edge. If it is crits, it's fine. If this crits, it's fine. And now we go into Urshifu. Urshifu is holding the Choice Band, and Urshifu should never drop to an Earthquake crit. So, one last Surging Strikes for the road. Let's see what happens here. Do we get crit? If we do, it doesn't matter. Surging Strikes always OHKOs the Swampert after the boost from Choice Band. And that's Run and Bun, baby. Woo! Oh, I can't believe we did it. Oh. This has been such a fun Nuzlocke. This Nuzlocke has been ridiculously fun. Wow. Oh, I can't believe I finished this Nuzlocke. I mainly consider myself as a VGC player, but after watching Pichal and Pichal, Flygon HG, and all these creators do Run and Bun, I just thought I have to try it myself. It just looks so fun. And yeah, for the past few months, I've been doing this since I think September. And for the past few months, whenever I had free time, I would just play some Run and Bun at night. It would be really stressful, actually. Like, but then I did enjoy myself a lot. And yeah, I desperately needed a break from VGC after Worlds. Worlds was a really great experience for me, but it was just exhausting, and I needed a break from VGC. So I decided this Nuzlocke would be good for me. And yeah, after a few months, I finally beat the game, which was, wow, that Drake fight was so stressful. I really should have been more careful. Like I was not smart. Just shows that I am still a Nuzlocke noob, despite making it this far in Run and Bun. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I'm gonna stay behind for a few more minutes just to show you my dev box and talk about this run a little bit. I wish I recorded other parts of the run as well, but it's just like when I play Run and Bun late at night, I'm usually like exhausted. I don't want to commentate. I just want to focus on the line and get these fights over with as quickly as possible so I could hit the bed. But yeah, we're gonna look at this. We have Gudra, we have Dragapult, we have Urshifu, we have Glacia, we have Prim, and last but not least, we have Weavile. So yeah, that was the E4 team. Thank you for watching my E4 run. It's been really fun. And yeah, again, I'm gonna stay behind for a few minutes to talk about my dev box, which now has 3 more new additions. Just gonna restart the credits. Skip through all of this dialogue. Yep. Yep. Yeah, there were parts of this run which I really wish I recorded because I had such fun cooks for those parts of the line. But either way, here we go. So first, to add to the death box, we have Gudra. And then who else fainted in the Wallace fight? Dragapult, scaring me with that freeze. And Weavile. So yeah, this was the dev box. I guess I'll talk through the notable deaths. I had to sack Ampharos in Norman. I really wanted to keep it because I didn't have a lot of electric types, and Mega Ampharos was really cool. I really enjoyed using it in the past. So, not past Run and Bun, but like VGC years in previous formats I've played around, I believe, with Mega Ampharos, so it was pretty fun. We had to sack Blaziken to May. I was reluctant to sack to the Lily Cove May fight. I was reluctant to sack it, but couldn't find any other line, and same for Azumarill. By the way, I managed to make it all the way to Lily Cove May with just 6 deaths, which was really, really impressive. But afterwards, I had to start sacking a lot. Hatterene and Quillfish was sacked during the Mount Pyre tag fight. So notably, this Hatterene has Misty Explosion and just KOs both the Urshifu and Hydreigon, which was really, really satisfying. One interesting thing to note was in Norman, I had the option to either keep Ampharos and Hatterene, but I decided to keep Hatterene for a couple of reasons. First of all, because I thought Misty Explosion would be very valuable, which it was. I didn't have any other line for Archie because I never encountered a Muck in my playthrough. So keeping Hatterene was a really good decision, and it was also one of the only other things that tanked a Mega Metacham's attack in the Wind Straits fights. So in hindsight, keeping it was a very good decision. I was like staring at my screen for 45 minutes trying to decide which one to keep in Norman, and then I made the right decision. So that was satisfying. And then Quillfish was, we exploded it in the Archie Mount Pyre tag as well. And yeah, I used my Custap Berry on this Quillfish. Eggy was my Magma Hideout encounter, which was really unlucky, which was really lucky because it could have exploded, and I also didn't have any other Chlorophyll Mons. Yeah, I actually sacked 5 Mons in the Maxi fight in Magma Hideout. I was quite proud of that line, and I think it was the only line that I managed to find. So it was sacking Eggy, using Eggy to get rid of Groudon and sacking it, using Talonflame, I think, to bait in the Garchomp, and then I also sacked Kingdra, Frostlass, and Breloom in that fight, and I only had Dragapult remaining. It was very scary, but I think it was 93.6% safe, that line, so pretty good. Kecleon was so clutch. We used it to steal the leftovers in the Tate and Liza fight, which granted us another item, and then we sacked it during that fight as well. Castform, we sacked as well in... I don't quite remember where it was. So I think it was Tate and Liza split or immediately after, but it did absolutely nothing. Came to one fight and we sacked it, but we needed it for the life orb, so that's why we had it. Hitmonlee was Aqua Hideout Space Tag. Not Aqua Hideout, sorry, Space Tag. It got off a fake out safely for me and then it died. Master Rain was Aqua Hideout. It helped me, it was so clutch in the early game, despite being Jolly Nature, and it helped me handle Archie's Superior. I didn't really have a lot of good answers to that. Same with the Magnezone, we had to invest the rare candy to it, but it was the only thing in my box that could take a Zapdos' attack, so I think we sacked Masquerain, baited in the Zapdos, and then we exploded on the Zapdos. I would have really liked to keep Magnezone, it was really good, but it was the only way for me to handle Archie's Zapdos, because we didn't have Greninja in our run. Bruxish died towards the end in one of the optional fights. There were like 5 fights where I tried to stack this Bruxish and it just refused to die. I got Ice Fang freezes, I got crits, like, this Bruxish was a hero, but in the end, we decided to sack it anyway because it was the most useless thing on my box, and Rapidash went down on the same fight. I had to use it for a Fire Lash, so that I could then pick up a KO, safe KO on an Ursaluna, which was really scary for the rest of my team. And then yeah, you saw how Goodra, Dragapult, and Weavile went down like warriors. So yeah, this is my run and run E4 run. Thank you very much for watching. This is a very long video, but I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And yeah, maybe I'll record more Nuzlocke or VGC content in the future. And yeah, if you have any feedback for me and the way I commentate as well, let me know. I know I'm such a fucking rookie. It was very difficult for me to commentate while playing the game and while thinking. But I like to try my best, and who knows, maybe one day I'll be good enough to make proper content. So yeah, thank you, and see you all next time.